Witches in pursuit of science. And so another wicked episode begins. Happy Halloween, everybody! October is here, the weather's changing, and we invite you to just grab your cauldron and cheers us with a community sip. Hi, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hi, I'm Angelina Bertoni.
And I'm Nicole Familari. And this is the Halloween episode of Witches in Pursuit of Science. So, guess we'll start first things first in the beginning with the history of Halloween. Where did it come from? Where did it go? Oh no, it's not the Cotton Eye Joe. So I can talk, what I'm going to talk about is the Celtic history or the Celtic Pagan history of Halloween. So it comes from a holiday called Samhain, which occurred around October 31st, where community members would dress up in costumes and dance around the bonfire, and everybody who dressed up in costumes would receive treats. And that was thought to help ward off evil spirits at this time of year when everything's getting a little spooky, it's dark, and the nighttime coming, right? And so that's why we wear costumes during Halloween. It comes from these traditions of the Celtic Samhain holiday, which occurs at this liminal time in the year where the veil is said to be thinner and spirits can come and go and roam the earth along with us. So, yeah. But enough about history. I think we should get to something a little bit more fun. So, I think
I have a little proposal.
Yes, let's hear your proposal.
All right, so this month for our Coven of Kindness, I wanted to welcome us back to October with a little challenge. I wanted to play Boo. Have you ever played it before, Nicole?
No, tell me all about it.
Okay, so the way it works is that you take a little bag, could be like a paper lunch bag, you decorate it with a couple of little Halloween stick figure drawings, maybe a little ghost or a pumpkin, and you write, "You've been booed." You set it on somebody's porch and you fill it with treats. Maybe it's a little pumpkin, maybe it's a nice note about your friend or a crystal or some candy, whatever it is, maybe a nice piece of fruit. You leave it out and then you instruct them to go and boo another person and spread on the kindness. And so it's just a little bag of Halloween cheer to spread about at this time of year.
That is so sweet and generous and so fun. I can't wait to go boo people. But yeah, it'll be so fun. And I hope to see so much kindness spread by the Kindness Coven this holiday season. Little gifts and surprises. Now, that act of kindness and generosity actually reminds me of a story that comes from... Yes. Would you like to hear the story? Let's hold on. Let's set the tone.
Ooh.
We have a story.
A real Halloween treat.
Oh, you bet. So, this is the tale of Stingy Jack. Now, Stingy Jack. Now, Stingy Jack, true to his name, was a very stingy fellow. He didn't like to pay for anything, and if he could, he would be conniving and get money out of anyone. So one time, Stingy Jack finds him down at the local pub, and he's drinking away. And he's chatting with the guy next to him, which ends up to be the devil. But Stingy Jack has charisma, so they're vibing, they're chatting. And as the conversation goes, he convinces him, "Hey, devil, why don't you turn into a coin? And then we can use you as a coin to pay, and then we can get our drinks for free." So, you know what? The devil thinks this is a good idea. He takes him up on this offer. He turns himself into a coin. But Stingy Jack was so stingy that instead of using the coin to pay, he put it in his pocket next to a silver cross. Being Catholic, that is, he knew that the silver cross would tie the devil to the coin and he could never escape. So Stingy Jack kept the devil in his pocket for many, many years to come, and he never paid for those drinks at the pub. And then one day, the silver cross falls out of his pocket, and the devil is set free. He's so angry, but he's finally free. So he goes on his merry way. And then some time passes, and Stingy Jack unfortunately passes away. Very stingy, never paying for a thing in his life. And so when he passes, he goes to purgatory, to the afterlife, to meet his God in heaven. And he says, am I coming in? Open the gate. Which is responded to, oh, no, not here. Go down there with the devil with you. And when he gets to the devil down in the gates of hell, like, well, guess I'm home. Did you miss me? And the devil says, oh, no. Oh, hell no. You're not coming in here with me. And so he kicks him out forever to roam the earth in purgatory with just a lump of coal to carry. And so as Stingy Jack is carrying this lump of coal along his way, he puts it in a turnip and carves a face in it so that everyone can see him coming. And so Jack, Stingy Jack, or Jack of the Lantern, as they say, forevermore roamed the earth with his menacing face carved into the gourd. And that is where we get jack-o'-lanterns from. So, boom.
So good. I think that is like such a crazy story. I wanted to share with the viewers who are watching a couple of pictures I found online of the carved turnip. So for viewers that are listening in on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you get your podcasts from, the visual tone, Angelina has been wearing a adorable little purple and blue witchy hat with a spiral and her white turtleneck and dark checkered mid-calf or knee-length skirts, holding up a phone with some scary-looking carved turnips.
These aren't for the faint of heart.
Sits in a beautiful pumpkin stylish black and orange shirt with two carved pumpkins behind her in her lovely Halloween setup. So I want to blow up this one picture and talk about it for 10 seconds more because I just think it's crazy. If you're listening in, Google Halloween turnip carvings, and come on now, don't fail me now. And it's wild. They're like so scary.
They are terrifying. They're nowhere near as cute as this pumpkin. Yeah, you put him in the window and he wards off evil spirits because they think it's Stingy Jack and he's gonna come rip them off.
That's so funny. So the jack-o'-lantern head thing, this plays into he put it in there and it lights the way, and this is what everyone does in turn is they carve these turnips. So here in America, we have such a different thing that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. So that's where those traditions come from. But what happens in America? Do you know where the American traditions come from?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have a really, really great story actually about the American history. So up here in Michigan, it has finally gotten so cold that I had to bring all my plants in, and I thought it was kind of appropriate for today's tale because this story is about the original OG American mother of Halloween, Elizabeth Krebs. OG. So we're going back over 100 years right now to 1912. To the place, Hiawatha, Kansas. The kids out destroying Halloween. This is why I think old people were so crotchety, is that kids like 100 years ago, I guess, were like monsters. Nobody parented them. They were like running wild in the streets. People like got so angry all over the place. And then I think it took like a huge turn in parenting where like it was like balls to the wall. Like, I don't know, but
Gotta wrangle these kids.
Yeah, don't hit your kids. Not now, not on Halloween, not never. All right. Anyway, back to our tale of Elizabeth Krebs. So the year is 1912. The place, Hiawatha, Kansas. The kids are out destroying Halloween in the town every devil's night. They're going to people's houses. They're flipping over outhouses. They're throwing rocks through people's windows. They're going up to the doors and they're demanding tricks or treats. And they say, listen, you got to give me something to eat. And the people are like, no, it's good. And they go out and they're just destroying the land. So poor Elizabeth, founder of the Hiawatha, Kansas Garden Club.
Oh, she loved her plants.
Oh, she loved her plants, just as I do. She wakes up in the morning on November 1st and she opens the window and her garden has been destroyed. Every single plant ruined. Her pumpkins smashed. Her sunflowers kicked. Some squash destroyed. Roses. Everything's ruined. She's like, oh no, I gotta do something about these damn kids. And her neighbors are like, Elizabeth, what are we gonna do? We don't know what to do to help. So Elizabeth says, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw a party and wear these kids out next year. So Elizabeth rolls up and it's like October 30th, 1913. And she decides to throw a modest little party, you know, and a good little shindig. And she gets all the kids over and they're bobbing for apples and they're listening to some music and they're like, oh man, this is great. You know, thank you, Miss Elizabeth. That's so fun, Miss Krebs. And they all go home. And she's like, I wore these kids out. I had a good time. They had a good time. There's going to be no harm from this. This is definitely the way. So she goes to bed. And the morning of November 1st, 1913, every single plant was destroyed. Her pumpkins smashed. Her gourds crumbled. The roses, forget about them. Everything was like trashed again. And she was so disheartened. Miss Krebs was like, what am I going to do? So she goes and she decides, instead of giving up, she's like, I was almost there. I was this close. I almost got the kids. She's like, I'm going to throw a huge party. And so she spends all year making decorations and getting a pool ready and growing apples in her yard. And she gets the garden club ladies to grow gourds and pumpkins. And they have a pumpkin carving contest. And the kids are bobbing for apples. And people are playing songs in the background because there's only like 6 songs at that time. So it was like all the hits were flying, you know, all 6 of them. And they played probably the same songs like 10 times over. And by the end of the night, everybody was so worn out. They were like, this is the party of 1914, the party of the year. So they go to bed and Elizabeth Krebs is like, oh, this is the one I hope, because she really hoped that she had like the best roses of her life that year, I guess. That's what I hear anyway. And so she didn't want to see him smushed, you know? Yeah. And so she goes to bed and she wakes up and it's like, the sun like through the window. It's the morning of November 4th, 1914. Miss Krebs in her I want to pretend she's in like a really flowy gown of like the time. She's probably looks like trash, like she's in a trash bag or a potato sack, but like in my mind she's got like a long flowing house coat that's super cool, and she opens up the shutters and she throws out the sash like at Christmas time. And all her plants are fine. Everybody's cool. It's like a Halloween miracle. She made a Halloween wish. She was like, I wish these dang kids would stay off my lawn and stay away from my garden. So she throws the party of the year. And I could have a Halloween wish from Miss Krebs, the garden witch. It would be to spend Halloween with you, Nicole.
Oh, I wish that could come true too. Shall we make a wish on the candle?
Oh, at the end. I just wanted to say, that would be my wish.
Aww.
But the town, meanwhile, back to the story, Miss Krebs here. Sorry, I got totally derailed by your eyes. The town comes alive. They're like, E.L. Krebs, you saved the day. My house, all the windows intact. The police officer was like, crime rate was down. All the kids were like walking by and they were like, sup, Krebs. They were like, it's the best day of the year. They were like so tired and cool. And all the parents were like, good job. And so they told other towns, and other towns were like, whoa, you know, the kids here, total jerk wads, bad apples. I don't know what they say back then, but they said things, you know, that weren't nice about the kids. And then they all decided that they too would try it out. And the party of the year, Halloween, this like pagan thing, as Miss Krebs had like known about it, she decides, I'm gonna turn it around, turn it into a party, bring everybody about. She was a community witch. Truly, she inspired the magic of Halloween and community to get people to stay off her lawn. And if we can learn anything from her, it's that another wonderful witch that will add to our tale of collection of wonderful witches is Miss Krebs, the old mother of Halloween. And then, lest our virtue, America took it and candy took over. And they did give away sweets, treats, and stuff to the kids, but it was more like a bribery to get them to like not be holes. So that's really what we take away from it. And now we do the candy thing for kindness and the commercialisms for kicks. So that's the history of American Halloween.
Oh, it was fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm so happy to know why I get to spoil myself with so much candy this time of year.
Oh my gosh. I hear that a certain witch in Texas got a job at Spirit Halloween this year.
Indeed. It's spooky season, y'all. But you know what? We have a lot of really cool, really cute stuff, but nothing compares to that hat that you are rocking. It is so adorable. Would you look at that curly cue? I am obsessed.
Thank you so much. I love this hat, and I actually have a really cool surprise. This hat comes from our first viewer fan mail.
Oh my goodness. Who's it from? Yeah.
It's a Halloween. It says Happy Halloween. There's a bunch of ghosts on it. It's a little spooky. Or sorry, spoopy, as the hip kids online like to say. It says, no ordinary Halloween for you. Hope it's irresistibly fun.
Aww.
So it says, thank you so much for your order and continued patience with me. I truly appreciate it. Can't wait to see you both and your stuff. Please feel free to contact my crochet page or post it on Insta. Hope you enjoy your extra treats. Blessings, Christina of Mainly Wicked Crafts. So hand crocheted, small business, woman driven, wonderful, magical craft witch. We had this wonderful thing, and so I loved it. I saw it online and I just adored the hat, and I thought, I can't have one, I have to have two.
Oh, what?
Oh, I will be sending you a little Halloween treat in the mail since we can't be together this year, but I got you one as well. And so love supporting small businesses, love supporting other witches in our community. So thanks, Christina, so much at Mainly Wicked Crafts for this awesome handmade crocheted hats. She has all these different types of yarn. You can get it tailored whatever you want. So definitely check her out and support her work. We super support you. We super love it. So can't wait. Hope you enjoy it when you watch this episode.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. And thank you, Christina. Those are so cute. I can't wait to wear one. Oh, we'll look like twins.
I know. I thought that'd be so much fun. It's kind of fun because I feel like if we are like so, the love and like we have that is so similar, and it's kind of fun because it's like, oh, if I could make someone like on a table and put them together, I feel like it would be you, and I would just like raise you up and be like my own little bride of Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, that's very fitting. You know, I could be Dr. Frankenstein. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I do work in a lab, just like Dr. Frankenstein, who made Prometheus, the monster that was brought back to life in Mary Shelley's novel. It's classic Halloween tale. And even though that was science fiction way back in when, like, I think it was written in the 1800s, I'm not sure, but a long time ago, science fiction, we're going to create this human and bring him back to life. But now that's actually real life. It's not fiction, because we have what's known as regenerative medicine. Do you know about regenerative medicine? It's super cool biotechnology.
Well, I gotta say, for today's Science Corner, I do not know about regenerative medicine, but I am so excited to take a deeper dive down this well into it. So tell me, behind the facts of Mary Shelley, who wrote this amazing story of Frankenstein, she was a fantastic author, but tell us more about the science that gets into it.
Yeah. So now her story was fictional, but today we have what she probably would have seen as fiction in her time. And so come on down to my lab bench. Let me tell you about it. So regenerative medicine is a way of tissue engineering, or like organoid technology. And what's really, really cool about it is if someone needs a transplant, or even like a skin graft or something, if this is a technology that allows us to create tissues and organs from the patient's own cells, which means you don't need to be on a waiting list to have a donor, which means you don't have to worry about your immune system rejecting it. It is something for your body, made by your body. And what they do, and the way it's done, is by a method known as like re-engineering the cells. You need stem cells, which most of these stem cells for the research comes from in vitro fertilization clinics, because they have many leftover stem cells whenever they're doing their in vitro process. Or if you're getting a treatment, you can get your stem cells as an adult from your bone marrow, something like that. And what's so special about these cells is that they can differentiate. They can change into any cell type in your body, right? Because we have different cell types: our skin, our lungs, maybe our liver, our kidneys, muscles. And so, but once our cells are that type, a muscle cell is never going to turn into a skin cell. But with tissue engineering, with this biotechnology, we can actually engineer these cells. We can kind of nudge them along and turn them into whatever we want. So like skin, I was actually reading this article recently about some vaginal transplants that were done for women that were born without vaginas. And that's really, really neat. And then as well as like all sorts of different kinds of organs and skin and you name it. And so it's a technology that's saving lives, even though Mary Shelley may have thought it was science fiction. We really can rebuild organs and tissues and cells, in addition, help save lives. So it's really neat, mind blowing, isn't it?
The help that it can do for humanity, and the fact that it stems, just coming all the way back from a fairy tale, just like shook audiences by storm. It's pretty cool. What a nifty thing. I can't even.
Yeah, it's really, really neat. It's cool how you can take a cell and you can see them growing in a dish. Like I've seen videos of people engineering heart cells in a dish, and you can see these little clumps beating together. It's really neat. Sometimes science is way too science fiction-y, even though it's real. That's where the magic is. Speaking of magic, I heard that you have a pretty spooky magical tale from your grimoire you'd like to share today. Is that so?
Oh, snap. Let me lift up my little pumpkin here. Sticking the paperweight pumpkin on it. Squashing out the good vibes. Oh, adjusting my bra. For all those that couldn't watch me, and let me make sure
adjust.
I'm outfit to those that are just listening.
Gotta adjust. It's important to be comfortable.
Absolutely right. So today's tale of the grimoire is really, really interesting because it's a combined 3-part perspective from the perspective of myself, my sister, and my mother. And what's so interesting about it is that takes place when I was 17. I had a friend and I who were both interested in occultism. We found our way to a very mystical bookstore in Berkeley called the Mayflower Bookshop. It's still there to this day.
Oh.
I definitely recommend checking it out if you're in the east side of Michigan, Metro Detroit area. It's a really, really cool spot. there's just so much to learn. I found an interest in some books. Some of the books, when my parents found them, literally got rid of them. And it was the first time I'd ever had people like take away knowledge from me, being afraid, or it brought me even closer to it. So we'd been messing around and decided we were going to encapsulate a spirit. And the weird part about it was that that's a horrible, horrible thing to do. You should never mess with entities because the other realm does exist. It is definitely something that's out there, even if it's something that you don't believe in. Energy is real powerful stuff, and you just don't know how it's going to resonate, later on. Part of this story that gets so interesting is about the veil, and I want to take a moment to pause for a second and ask Nicole, could you explain, my sister witch, a little bit about how the significance of the veil on October 31st is?
Yeah, absolutely. So the veil is this metaphysical curtain, right, if you will, that exists between our world here on the physical plane and the world of different energies that we may not be able to detect. Now, around these liminal spaces this time of year, around October 31st, or as well as similarly in the early spring, I think around May 1st, you see that the veil is thinning. And so it's much easier for communication between our realm here on the physical realm and any kind of energy or spirits or something else that might exist in a different form of being. And so that's where you might hear things go bump in the night, or get a weird chill, or feel like you're receiving some kind of message. It happens at this time of year if you've ever felt a little spooked around here. And that's really the magic starts to be in the air right around here, right around October 31st. So as you were saying, Ben, it was around October.
Oh, ooh, there's a weird feedback I heard just now, and I was like, "Oh, an EVP, maybe."
Oh, hello there.
So the reason I wanted to touch base on it was that this story really involves a lot of the veil and what happened on October 31st. So,
Crack open.
I've been away at college, off at a night, celebrating Halloween with my friends, drunkenly at college. I felt the need to check in with my little sister. It was 11:58, so I sent her a quick message. Happy Halloween. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a fun night. Let me know if you're sick from candy tomorrow. She was a senior in high school. 11:58, 168 miles away. My sister rolled over in my childhood bed. She laid up staring at the ceiling. She couldn't quite sleep. There was an interesting vibration in the air. It felt thicker than usual, more electricity. There was a chill coldness in the room. 11:58, across the hallway, my mother hears a chanting outside the bedroom window. She gets out of bed, walks closer, peeks through the light of her room out and through the crevice of the window shade, and she notices nothing in the yard where the sound's coming from. Peculiar, because it sounds as if it's coming from the window directly in the room across from the hall from where she is. So she gets out of bed, goes to her door. 11:59, a text message from myself receives on my sister's end. The phone starts to glow, and an apparition at the end of her foot of her bed begins to form. As clear as day, she sees him, Henry, the spirit I had trapped in so many years ago. His mouth open, mouth moving, chanting, staring with dead eyes directly at her. White, long hair, pale hair, pulled back in a greasy ponytail. Translucent, wrinkled, almost rotting like skin. A black petticoat, trousers. He dressed as if he was from a later time period. His mouth still moving. 11:59, my mother's hand reaches the door. Midnight, the phone now, still alert. My mother opens the door. Eyes fall on the figure. The apparition at the foot of the bed turns his head to look directly at her. My mother gasps. The phone goes black. The room is dark. My mom flips on the light switch and he's gone. My sister responds, at midnight. Holy shit, we just saw your ghost. My mother calls me home after this. She has me do a banishing spell. We bring in a priest. We literally bless the room and go all Catholic on it. As it was happening, I literally felt the pain and the suffering in a negative entity that left us. And so it's an interesting perspective of seeing something where I had felt it, my sister had seen it, my mother had seen it, my mother had auditorily heard it. Two different generations of people, 3 generations of time, all crossing paths on Halloween night, just at midnight. The veil, my friends, something to be wary of, something to be wise with, and something not to mess with. The rule of many is that harm none, so mote it be. Blessed be, sister.
Blessed be. Whew, what a chilling tale. My goodness. Yes, respect the veil for certain.
Respect the veil. Be careful what you wish for. And happy hauntings, Kindness Coven. We adore you. We are so grateful for all of your support, all the likes that we've been having. If you have a spooky tale to send to our Grimoire, whether it be magic, a haunting, or maybe some kind of something from the other side, we would love to hear it at witchesinpursuitofscience@gmail.com. For everybody listening in, please feel free to join our Kindness Coven on Facebook at Witches in Pursuit of Science, the page, and our spin-off page, WiPS Questresses. It's our page where we get together and we go on links. We combine ourselves with community, doing scientific experiments. I post really funny memes, kind of.
Yes, you do. Yeah, I live for your memes.
We love you guys so much. We are so grateful to see our friends growing, to have fans that resonate with this. So thank you for listening. Please like, share, and support wherever it is you get your podcast from. And we hope you join us next time. I want to make a little wish before we go on our outro. So I thought we could do our outro and then we'll just blow it out together.
That's perfect. Yeah, let's make our wish and do the outro.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I got mine. You got yours?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Get it.
All right. Well, we who seek in the laboratory and in the wild
lead lives full of curiosity and purpose,
guided by earth-centered hearts and critically observant intellect.
Unified in research, as a community we learn.
We propose our hypotheses as proudly as we are humble.
Expecting critique, discussion, and experimentation with no bias in our favor.
We cast intentions to infinitely expand understanding.
Collectively, celebrating diversity within all of our webs.
Collectively weaving with a powerful and gentle kindness.
We,
the witches,
are witches in pursuit of science. Thanks for tuning in, Kindness Coven. We love you.